So the meme on the top of this says, we have wildlife because we hunt wildlife. You know, I think the first couple of comments are going to be, that's rubbish. That's not true. Come on. We have wildlife because we hunt wildlife. Well, it's a line that I got from John Bair, upcoming Blood Origins episode. And when you skim over the actual words and you dig down to what it actually means, it's full of truth. How come we have wildlife? Let's rewind the whole, we hate trophy hunting doesn't work, you should only hunt for food, you should only hunt for survival. Let's back up. Let's ask the question, why do we have wildlife? Why do we have wildlife here in North America, in Canada, in places like Africa? Why do we have wildlife? It's pretty simple. Wildlife remains on the landscape where they have value. Well, let's use North America as an example. We have national parks in North America that are funded by ecotourism and tourists visiting the parks. But undergirding that is a subsidy from the federal government. You see, the tourism that goes into these parks, the same as the tourism that goes into the parks in South Africa, in Tanzania, in Kenya, where there is no hunting, is always subsidized. Now, I say always. Now, there's obviously going to be an exception to the rule, but the majority of them are subsidized. When you start thinking about value, trophy hunting brings significant value to that animal. That animal then has value to the people around it. If that animal has no value or has lesser value than something else, it's just simple economics, right? Something else is going to replace it that makes somebody more money. It's all tied to economics. The wildlife conservation efforts around the world have been funded by sportsmen and hunters. But we are all for wildlife conservation. Trophy hunting doesn't occur when there is a detriment to the population. See, sometimes what happens is trophy hunting gets labeled in with market hunting, right? What happened way back in yesteryear? All the animals were decimated, all the populations were decimated because of you hunters. Well, yes, they were market hunters, but there were no regulations tied to that endeavor. It was actually driven by the urbanites that wanted fur and wanted feathers. It was a supply and demand situation. Ever since the advent of legalized, regulated hunting, no animal has ever gone extinct because of trophy hunting. Or let's just say hunting. When you start peeling back the layers of what a trophy actually is, trophy represents the maturest animal in that environment, i.e., if that animal expresses very large antlers or very large horns, what does that mean? It means that that environment is allowing that animal to fully express its maturation. It's also a data point. And that data point added to others shows how good a job that person that is preserving that area is doing. Now, as hunters, have we done a good job of showcasing that data point? Have we done a good job of showcasing how trophy quality is increasing over time? In America, we've done a pretty good job. And the Boone and Crockett and Stephen Rella really inspired this idea of really truly understanding this trophy point behind the scenes. Because at the end of the day, that's what we want. We want better wildlife, we want better habitat, and we want more wildlife. So the crux of the matter is this. We have wildlife because we hunt wildlife, and all of the elements tied in around those hunting and the revenues generated from it. So if hunting is taken away, what are we left with? Many examples around the world where hunting was taken away, or there was no hunting, and there were no animals. Many examples around the world where there was no hunting, hunting got put in place, and now we have substantial populations of that animal. So, I think the idea of the trophy is always going to be subject to subjectivity. But I think once you dig down into what that means, when you dig down into the impact of the activity, I think you'll begin to understand why hunting is so important to the future of wildlife across the country. So as hunters, we just need to be able to communicate why we hunt and the nuances of these little elements a little bit better. And so I hope that you got that from this. We hope that you'd share this message. Share it with your non-hunting friends. And when somebody comes in and talks about you guys are just bloodlusting killers, take a step back. Ask them why they think that. And see where it goes. We appreciate you.